at the time, a kilo of cocaine in America was around what, 20,000?
20,000, yeah.
So 20,000 in America, 150,000 wholesale.
Wholesale.
In Australia.
Yes.
So 7.5 times.
7.5 times.
Damn. Okay, because listen, I've been to Australia before a few times. It takes forever to get out there and it's completely isolated.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's only one way to get it in.
Yeah.
It's probably by boat, right? I would imagine. Or unless you have a private plane, but you're still getting stopped.
Well, you can't even fly direct.
Yeah,
you
you'd
need
have
a
to
jumbo
stop in
jet
Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it's a huge flight.
Yeah.
So I can see the problem. Or a submarine maybe.
Submarine.
Yeah.
But that's still pretty damn far.
Right. Even a submarine is going to take a while. Right.
So I get this duffel bag, right? And Uncle Louie has a duffel bag of his own money of $500,000, and I got $1 million I'm sitting on. The deal I made with El Jefe was $50,000 every bird, $50,000 for me, and whoever was selling it was making $50 or whatever he wanted to charge. We were collecting $100. So now I'm like, okay, I'm telling El Jefe, hey, Uncle Louie's asking, when can we get more? And he says, 20 more are coming tomorrow. Same thing. So now we're getting 20 birds now. Uncle Louie's taking the 20 birds, and within a half an hour, he's bringing me $2 million now. $1 million for El Jefe, $1 million for me. And we start doing it, and doing it. Take Saturdays and Sundays off. Monday, we're back up. Now, all of a sudden, I'm sitting on $10 million in my Sydney condo apartment. It's like a 1-bedroom studio. It's tiny.
Right. And just for perspective, around that time, Australian dollars and US dollars are about the same.
Actually, it's funny because it's never been like this, but the Australian dollar was like 10% over. It was like 110 for every dollar at the time.
So $1 million in Australian dollars is about a 1.1 million in US dollars.
Correct.
So you have an insane amount of money right now.
Correct. 10 million.
You can't put it in the bank.
No.
It's all sitting in cash in your condo.
Dishwasher, microwave, freezer. Inside my bathroom, I had an attic. I was putting it everywhere. It was so packed, I had to start putting in literally rolling suitcases in my closet because it was that bad. And I remember sleeping at night and just literally laying in bed going, holy shit, I'm sitting on 10 million large right now. And this, at the time, I think I'm 26 now. And we keep going. And now I'm like, okay, what do we do now? Like, I'm telling El Jefe, like, okay, when are you going to pick up yours? Because you got to remember, half of it's his, Vlad. I'm like, hey, you ready to pick up yours? Like, I want to get this shit off. He's like, what? You don't remember? I paid you to do what you're doing. It's your job to figure that out. I'm like, okay, this is why he hired me. He hired me to take the money and launder it back. That was my job. That's why I'm making $1 million a day. I'm like, fuck. How the fuck am I going to do that? I don't know a thing about this. I'm in another country. So I remember I called my accountant and I told him, I said, hey, I got a customer over here that's gambling with me. I'm not going to tell my accountant that I'm working for the cartel. I told my accountant, I got a customer over here that's gambling and he's losing a bunch of money. I said, I'm sitting on about $5 million of my own money and I need a way to get it out of here. And my accountant goes, it's gambling money? I go, yeah. He says, I'm not worried about gambling money. It's legal in Australia. So he flies over, he brings a crew with him. He brings his brother, who's my college friend from the volleyball team, and he brings his father-in-law, who's a captain for a fire department. And they're over there, and I'm like, dude, this is what I got. And I'm showing him the cash. I said, we got to think of something. He says, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to all have fake IDs made. We're going to have U.S. passport cards, and we're going to start exchanging the money because we got to turn the Australian dollar into the U.S. dollar. And he says, what we're going to do is we're going to take them in exchange for U.S. dollar and euro notes. At the time, the $500 euro note was worth $750. So now we're taking our Australian dollars and turning it into euro notes or $100 bills. And he says, now we're going to go buy all the comic books we can at these swap meets. He says, we're going to buy comic books and we're going to buy a shrink wrapping machine. He says, we're going to put the $500 euro notes, about 20 of them, in each comic book. And We're going to do the same with the U.S. cash. And now we're vacuum sealing them, and we're putting them in, at the time eBay was popular, we're putting them in these envelopes, and we're putting eBay tags like Australian eBay. So if customs ever would open it up, they see a comic book that's vacuum sealed, they're not thinking anything. So we're literally shipping these back to the U.S. now. We set up a bunch of P.O. boxes that he had set up, and we're shipping them P.O. boxes, families, friends, wives, girlfriends. Everybody's getting comic books. But guess what, Vlad? Doesn't even put a dent in this money. And to be honest, going to these exchange spots, it's starting to look weird that these four guys are going and exchanging money. So you got to be careful. So what's next? Well, we go to Bank of China. We realize that the Bank of China will let you take $50,000 cash anywhere you want to send it in the world. They'll wire it for you. They don't know these IDs are fake, so we're showing up with these IDs. And there's 2 Bank of Chinas in Sydney. We're utilizing them. So we're each getting off 100,000. That's, 400 grand. But like I said, you can't keep going to the bank. It's going to raise eyebrows, right? So now we just laundered 400,000, right? Shell corporations we set up. Now what? What do we think of? We think of what is Australia known for? Australia is known for a couple things. Kangaroos, right? Ugg boots. Ugg boots were very popular back then. You remember the Ugg boots in Australia are on every corner, right? There's different Ugg stores everywhere. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to buy all the Uggs we can. And they're looking at me like, why? I'm like, we're going to store the Uggs in the apartment, and then we're going to go buy gold bullion. At the time, the 1 ounce round gold bullion, 1 ounce is worth, let's call it $1,500 for one. I said we could bring $9,900 without them asking questions. So there was like 20 bullion stores throughout Australia in the area we're living. So we're all going to buy bullion now. So now I realized that the Ugg boots have the sole where you could rip it out. So I'm telling everyone, let's rip out the soles. And we're going to glue 4 1 ounce rounds on each sole. So that's about 6,000 per shoe. There's 2 shoes in a pair, right? So that's 12,000. So now we have $12,000 in gold. And now we're shipping Ugg boots back home. We're calling girlfriends, wives, what color do you want? Oh, you want pink? You want green? Okay, I'm sending you Ugg boots. So now we're sending all this gold back to the U.S. None of it's getting picked off.
Really, even though the weight is going to be vastly off from Ugg boots because gold is very heavy.
Yeah, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 ounces. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 ounces, right? 8 ounces extra.
I guess that's not too bad. Okay, you're not doing a huge...
No.
Okay,
it's a pair, saying, right? It's costed us like $75 a ship a pair.
In that case, yeah, you're right.
It's like a gift, right? It's a gift. So it's 8 ounces, right? But at the time, it's worth it. It's $12,000 for shipping every pair. So we literally ship 100 pairs. Guess what? It's 120 grand. Like, what's the point, right? Like, it's not even putting a dent into what we're doing.
Right. Because you're bringing in millions.
Yes.
And you're barely doing 100,000 by doing all these boxes.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Right.
So what do? Call a girlfriend from back home. I'm just talking to her. I'm like, what do I do? Like, what's the plan here? Like, I'm telling her. She thinks it's gambling money because I don't want to tell anybody I'm distributing this cocaine. She says, why don't you find someone that's in the, like a VIP, like a gambler, like a whale, like that can play it through the casino. She goes, I know a blackjack player that's a high roller in Vegas. I'm like, oh yeah? Well, what are you thinking? She's like, why don't you go talk to him? That's the play. I'm like, okay, introduce me. I fly back to America and I meet this guy named RJ Robin Hood Ciparani. They call him Robin Hood 702. I look up his website. Sure enough, Robin Hood 702 is a famous blackjack player, high roller. What he does is he goes and he plays, and then he takes his profits, his winnings, and he donates it to a family in need. So I've done my research. I meet the guy. I tell him, hey, my name's Junior DeLuca. I'm not telling him what my real name is because I don't know who this guy is. Hey, I'm Junior DeLuca. My girlfriend, she told me about you. Would you be willing to, I've got some money from a customer of mine. I'm a bookie. I said, I got some money in Australia and I can't get it out. It's cash. I said, what would you charge me? He said, I'll charge you 25%, but I want a first class ticket to Australia. I want the penthouse suite at the Four Seasons, and I want all the money to be in a Toomey luggage. I'm like, fuck, this guy obviously knows what he's doing, right? He's barking these orders like he's definitely a whale, right? He goes, this is what I'm going to do for you for 25%. I'm going to have my host in Las Vegas call the Star Casino in Sydney, Australia, and they're going to let them know that this high roller is coming in from Vegas and that he's going to be playing at the tables there. So his host calls. Sure enough, they put the red carpet out for him, and he shows up with 1.5 million cash in Sydney, Australia at the Star Casino. They already know he's this whale, right? They're already expecting him. So what does he do? He puts the cash on the table. They exchange his chips, just like you do. He plays for a couple hours, plays 20,000 here, 20,000 there. After about 3 hours, he just says, hey, I'm not feeling it. What do? They say, okay, Mr. Cipriani, what do you want? You know what, just give me a check. I'm not feeling it. So they give him a check. Let's call it 1.5 million. The check's for 1.5 million from the Star Casino. Well, guess what? The Star Casino is the sister casino to the Venetian in Las Vegas. So guess what? He gets back on his plane, goes to the Venetian, takes his $1.5 million check, goes to the cage where they already know him. What do you want, Mr. Cipriani? Cash, chips? At the time, this is 2010, before this, all these know your customer rules came. Half cash, half chips. Plays over there for a couple of hours and cashes it all to cash. Calls me. I'm in Sydney now. Where do you want this money dropped off? Within 48 hours, this guy just cleaned $1.5 million like that. I'm like, okay, we figured out a solution, right?
Okay, so how much did he get to keep?
25%.
25%.
Yeah.
So he got
It's close
30,
to
37,
370.
375,000.
Yeah,
So.
I got close to. I was like right at $1 million. I think he owed me 100,000. He gave me like $1 million, and he owed me like close to 100,000. And I said, just roll it over for the next round. So he's calling me. He's like, where do you want this? I'm calling my father. I'm calling my girlfriend. I'm like, here, drop it off here, drop it off there. And 2 weeks later, he goes, can we do it again? I'm
Right.
like, fuck yeah, we can do it again.
Right. But this time, it's 2.5 million.
Correct.